All right, welcome back, brothers and sisters. We are green. The audio is good. The video is good. The freedom is in order. And that is what we are about to distribute, because what we're about to talk about on this live stream is what led to and fueled the greatest gun cultural adoption that we've seen in the past 10, 15 years. And it was all because of progressive manipulation of our justice system. I'm about to show you an interview that you need to share out, because this stuff that we're talking about is the broader fight, and this is why we are winning. Everything that I'm going to show you is linked in the description box below. Per usual, I always bring receipts. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Welcome to the party, guys. We are about to spread some freedom up in here. I see you guys tuning in. Give me an audio video check, make sure we are good, and we will get right into this. All right, got some hearts, got some different locations. Okay, cool, sweet. So guys, as we're going through this, you guys are filtering in here. Make sure you follow me at BradenLOA on X. We are almost going to break 10,000 in about 2.5 to 3 weeks because of you guys and your support, and thank you for that, because the goal is to get to that 10,000 number. That's a big one. Everything's linked in the description box. If you want a quick link to get over there, make sure you follow it. And as you guys are in here, audio and video is good. We are about to dive into the rest of this interview, which I hit in my earlier video today around the ATF and their backhand and the big spanking they got. The no good, terrible, awful, horrible day. Might as well go eat worms kind of thing. Check it out if you haven't, because this last video I did today. But we're going to hit on something from the Shawn Ryan show. And this interview is with the Attorney General from Missouri. This is Andrew Bailey. This guy has a future. And I don't know where it's going to end, but it's going to be a good one. Because he is saying some things that are incredibly important around the failure of the prosecutorial system in the law. This, guys, is why everyone adopted the guns at such a tremendous pace. Why everyone bought guns outside of normal demographics. Why we have seen an explosion of diversity inside the gun world, which is making it stronger and stronger and stronger, because the left can't basically pigeonhole us as a homogenized group. This is a big one, guys. All right, I'm going to get right into this. This is an 8-minute interview. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I want to show you some of the things that he's saying from the inside of the lawfare that special someone was putting out and funding. We're going to dive right into it. If you guys are just now getting in here, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Let's get to the Shawn Ryan show. This is going to blow your minds. Let's get it.
George Soros. When Soros pays, how is that? I mean, this is a huge topic in every state. Everybody knows it's happening. She had a 96% non-prosecution rate. I couldn't believe what I saw. 96? So at some point, people stopped calling the cops.
All right, we're going to get that in 1 second. That's the underlying point. You want to know, guys, why we have this amazing explosion of new adoption into the gun world is because people stopped calling the cops because they didn't trust that anything would happen. What you're looking at is a direct result and reaction from the progressive push to basically left-eyes the entire prosecutor system. All right? That's what we're about to hit on. And it's being articulated extremely well from an AG who saw it and removed these prosecutors. Watch this. Guys, this is incredibly important to understand. And send this stuff out, because this is how we beat them. Like, straight up.
We had a good conversation at breakfast about George Soros and
George.
all of his funding for DAs.
That happened.
How is that? I mean, this is a huge topic in every state. Everybody knows it's happening. I don't know how he's funding everybody.
USAID is how he's doing it. Tides Foundation.
But what's his goal? What's going on here? I know you have fought against this and have fired several DAs.
The Soros-backed prosecutor in the city of St. Louis who was unlawfully refusing to do her job and was destroying the criminal justice system in the state of Missouri and did unmitigated and immeasurable harm to the city of St. Louis, Eastern Missouri, and the state and region as a whole. I think that when Soros pays to elect prosecutors who abuse prosecutorial discretion, it is an illegal nullification of the law. In other words, since the time of the founding.
Okay, before he goes into this, guys, this is the whole point. An individual brought forward people who ignored their prosecutorial responsibilities by abusing the prosecutorial system. As you can see right there, 96% non-prosecution rate. He's about to go into that. But this is where it backfired, and this is where we took full advantage. The population adopted to the state not doing what they were supposed to do, not just in Missouri, all states. And they basically said, we'll take care of it from here, which led to a furthering of our gun rights, a bigger adoption of our gun culture, and a bigger support for the Second Amendment. That's why it's exploding off the charts, because it's an ultimate backfire. Now, Andrew Bailey, to his credit, he fully sued and got these people removed. We're about to walk into that. Guys, make no mistake, this is the battle y'all were fighting for 3 years, and you're just now seeing a recap of what happened. All right, watch this.
Prosecutors are provided discretion to determine, based on evidence, what charges should be filed, whether a charge should be filed, what charge should be filed, and ultimately what the disposition in the case should be. So you get a police report, you read the police report, you decide what statute, what law was broken, and then you decide, okay, is this a prison thing, or is this like a probation and treatment thing, or is this somewhere in between? And those are the decisions. That's sound exercising of prosecutorial discretion. But what the Soros and his organization, what they're promoting is an abuse of prosecutorial discretion. So instead of making individualized decisions based on evidence and police reports, those Soros-backed prosecutors are saying, we're not going to enforce wide swaths of the criminal code, of criminal law. For instance, I'm not going to prosecute people for offenses, property offenses, where there's not a human victim that was physically harmed. Well, now hold on a minute. You can break into my house and steal all my stuff, but if you don't hurt me in the process, you're not going to charge that offense?
Well, and let's stack one more on top of what he's saying. Let's put this in a different perspective outside of the state of Missouri. And then if you defend yourself in your state, in your house, and it's maybe a blue state, you get charged. So the person who actually broke into your house doesn't get a consequence because the prosecutorial discretion. But the person who lives in that house, who is defending themselves, they get hit through prosecutorial discretion and the duty to retreat laws that are gun control related. Guys, all of these things, and I say this all the time on this channel because it's such an important point and a foundational idea of the channel, you have to understand that it's not all in a vacuum. All of these things weren't run on for gun control prosecutors, but all the actions were going towards gun control means and ends. That's the entire point. It doesn't happen in a vacuum. That's why I cover these things that are basically parallel. It's huge, but let's keep going because this prosecutorial stuff is insane.
And let's see how that played out in the city of St. Louis. This woman was in office from 2016 until 2023. She had a 96% non-prosecution rate, 96% of reported crimes. So at some point, people stop calling the cops because they know nothing's going to happen. And at some point, the cops stop authoring police reports and sending them to the prosecutor if they're not going to get prosecuted. So I think that 96% non-prosecution rate probably underestimates how little she was actually doing. Of the 4% of cases she was actually charging and getting into court, 35% of those were then subsequently dismissed by the court because she couldn't be bothered to show up to trial. Can you?
All right. Guys, you have to look at this like a sales funnel, okay? At the very top, you have 96% of cases that are being charged by the police are not being charged, okay? So 96% are not happening. And of the remaining 4%, as you shrink down even smaller, that 4% goes down an additional 60% because she wasn't showing up. You wonder why people went out and took a Second Amendment into their own hands? They bought their own guns. They bought their own ammunition because this was happening. This is still happening in some states. A lot of these prosecutors have been ousted, kicked to the curb, and removed. But guys, this was multiple years. And this is where the backfire fills in. We're going to do a few more things from this interview, but you have to understand, this is where your actions and your responses to these types of actions are paramount. Because you were taking people to the ranges. You were the ones telling people advice on what gun to get. You were telling people how the laws of their state apply to defend themselves. Because people were, like he just said, either not calling the cops were not showing up, or the criminals weren't facing consequences. So you took it into your own hands. Self-reliance strikes again. It's almost like it's in our genetic profile. But let's continue, because understand, this is how it works. Left pushes too far, they go too progressive, and it corrects, right? The population automatically corrects, and then the culture of the politics catches up. Does that sound like Trump, Republican House, Republican Senate? Does that sound familiar? Let's keep going.
Talk about, I mean, I used to live in St. Louis. We talked about this, and I mean, I went there a couple of years ago to meet with our mutual friend Andy Frizella. I couldn't believe what I saw. I mean, it was like a totally different city.
Yeah.
Every part of it, downtown, the outskirts, all of it. It's gone downhill.
It's really sad.
It's really gone downhill. And you gave an explanation of how crime, because of the Soros-funded attorney, it kind of started in St. Louis proper, moved out to the counties, moved out to the to the outer counties. And can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean,
like how that affected that city.
Yeah.
It's not just St. Louis.
Yeah.
This is happening all over the country.
Yeah,
And that's the whole point right there. And I don't need to go down this road because ultimately he ended up removing her as the AG of Missouri. This is the entire point, guys, as we're looking at this and you're filtering in. This interview was so powerful because it showed you exactly what was happening behind the scenes, but the American people, and this is the underlying point of this video, the American people, the population, the patriots, they recognized what was happening before people like Andrew Bailey stood up and removed people, and they started buying guns. They started buying ammunition. They started taking training courses. They started branching into a part of the world that we have in the United States that is not something they would have done before because the outside forces moved them in that direction towards us. The reason that I'm doing this video, number one, it was an incredible interview. You should watch the entire thing. It's all linked if you want. But the other part to this is you have to understand that every action has an equal or opposite reaction. And the population of the United States showed that in spades because we adopted a gun culture from people who were sitting right in the middle who never had guns before. 23 million guns were bought during the Biden administration, I think, per year. I mean, it is truly incredible. That might be a completely wrong number. Hold on. Don't quote me on that number. Withdrawn. I have to research that because I don't remember exactly what it was. A whole lot of guns. That's the whole point, and a whole lot of different demographics. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I landed the plane on this one because I thought it was something to bring you those worthwhile, and I will see you guys on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.